Hey everybody. So I wanted to, I guess, start this vlog by showing you the stitching that I got done in the airport, actually. I wasn't going to take any stitching with me, but I decided that maybe I would try to stitch in the airport and on the plane. And I did do a little bit. I stitched a little bit when I got to my local airport, stitched a little bit on the plane, stitched a little bit on at the second airport, but then the second plane I went on was just too tiny and cramped. And then I didn't touch it on the way back. I was tired. The way back was like both plane rides, I dozed off and I never sleep while I'm flying. But this is a Quirky Quaker. It is Lovebirds, and I'm stitching it on 14 count Picture This Plus Murmur with a Forbidden Fiber co-floss. Let me show you, because I think it's called Dark Cherry, but I'll show you what I took it in. So I bought this a couple weeks ago, and it actually came in like just in time for me to take it. So it's a little project keep, and it's Christmas themed. I don't care that this isn't Christmas stitching. Yes, Piper, I know I'm doing stuff. No, ma'am, face off the stitching. Yes, can I help you? It's like you're talking, Mama. Okay, so I actually put another project in here because I didn't know, which one I would want to do or how much stitching I would get done. So this was going to be for the Quirky Quaker, the bat, but I didn't get to it. And then it opens up to like a felt Orc Keeper. So yeah, this is Forbidden Fiber Co. Dark Cherry is what I'm stitching it with. And I set up my skein so that I could just do the pull a thread trick with the needle. And then I went ahead and stuck my needle in there because I only took one needle. So I was like, if this needle falls off my needle minder, I am donezo. So I did that. And then on the other side, I put my scissors and my needle threader. And that is all I took with me. I did not take my magnifiers because I can pretty much see 14 count without too much strain. And I didn't take my tablet. I have the Markup RXP app on my phone, so I just loaded it into there. I love that fabric so much. I wish that fabric was out here or on here. But yeah, so it's just this nice little project keep for travel. Let's get my orts out of there. And yeah, I was glad to do it. I think I'm gonna try to finish up the Lovebirds before I do anything else, because that seems like a silly whip, to keep on ongoing. But I wanted to show y'all my haul from the 2 cross stitch shops that I went to in Tennessee. And I know I don't normally do haul, but I mean, that's like the whole point of this video, literally, because I feel like I have just enough to like that I should film it and get it out of the way, because it'll be long enough as it is. So the first cross stitch shop that I went to is called Dixie Darlin, and it's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. My friend actually works in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Lives in a town about a half an hour away called Dandridge, and there is a cross stitch store there, but they are closing in a little over a month. There is a business owner in that very near vicinity who owns several shops, and I guess he wants to buy her property. And she's like, hey, you know, I'm 70 years old. I'm gonna just go ahead and let him buy me out and retire. So, but that lady is the designer behind Foxwood Crossing, which is the little sled patterns that are specifically made to fit on these little wooden sleds. So I was like, I'd never really wanted to stitch one before, but I was like, I'm going to the home of them, so you best believe I am getting some. So I bought this pattern. So it comes with the 3 patterns. And then I bought these, because how cute are those as a set? And then I bought, so that's technically, you know, 6 sleds worth, but I just decided to buy 1 set of sleds. And it comes with the 3 pieces of perforated paper that you need, but I don't know, because that's stitching in hand, which I don't do well with, so, and that's tiny. So I might just like pull out a small piece of fabric, you know, and then stitch all of them on the same piece within a 6-inch Q-snap. But anyway, so I bought 1 set of sleds. 4 of the small ones. And you know what that means. There's actually 3 sizes of sleds. So the other patterns that I bought for the sleds are, so I wanted this one immediately. I saw a slightly different version of it on the actual tree. I think what I saw actually is just the snowman and the penguins and the snow. If you leave off the words, then just that little one fits on a little sled. So, but they show it framed. So they give you this pattern. Some of these bigger or medium-sized ones, they give you the pattern multiple different ways. So you can stitch all of that and frame it, or you can leave off that bottom set of snowflakes and put it on that's the big sled. I got the medium-sized sled, so I think I don't know what I would have to leave off, but I'll figure it out. Actually, even if I can't make this fit on a medium sled, all I really wanted was the snowman with the penguins. So even if it will only fit on a small sled, I'm okay with that. And then the other pattern that I got. So now this one, you can see they do give it to you 4 ways. So you can stitch this whole thing. And it says Rudolph, what does that say? Car and above? I can't say car. Far and above. Sheesh. Beyond belief, flight school. And there's 3 reindeer and a moon. Or you can stitch just 1 reindeer, far above, beyond belief, Rudolph flight school. Or you can stitch just one of the smaller reindeer and the moon, or a little moon, and he can fit on the small sled. But this is the one I'm gonna do. Believe in the magic. And I bought 2 of the appropriate sized sleds to do that snowman and penguin and the Rudolph. And again, it comes with the 2 pieces of paper. So that was where most of my money went in Dixie Darlin', but I did still buy a couple other things. So this was just a cute little kit that was in the clearance for $2, and it comes with the floss and everything. So I was like, well, that's sweet. So, and then the other big thing that I got there, when we walked in, you'll see, I'm gonna put up I have a ton of footage. When we walked in, there were these amazing needlepoint. So these are also designed by Foxwood Crossing, and it's called Counted Canvas Quick Block. And so this is a Christmas themed one. It's called Santa's Star. And you can see there's like all these specialty stitches. I mean, it looks like it would go pretty fast. Maybe not this chunky satin stitch type border here. But, so then it comes with the perforated paper and the DMC, or I guess it's not DMC, but it's like a pearl cotton floss. So yeah, so I took a lot of footage in both shops that I'll be putting up after this clip, and I'm just gonna like voiceover talk about my vacation in general. Okay, so that was Dixie Darlin'. And then I went to a shop called Cross Stitch and Crafts, and it is in Johnson City, which is about an hour and a half from Pigeon Forge. It was about an hour from where my friend lives. And they're a really nice shop. Everybody in there was so nice. I probably would have been in and out of there in under an hour, but excuse me, between the staff and the customers, like I just got sucked into so many conversations, and I was in the shop for 2 hours. So let me show you what I bought from there. So these were these cute little kits, and the lady said that they're not, whoever makes them isn't making them anymore, but they're these cute little makeable things. So this is like a needle, or a pen cushion type thing on the top of a spool. And you know that Dr. Christie has like totally enamored me with wooden spools. And it comes with all of the stuff to make it. There's his little belt loop, there's his mustache, that felt ball is his face. You gotta cut out the stuff for, you know, the hat. I'm not really good at stuff like this, but I decided I would give it a try. And then I also bought a reindeer one. Isn't he so cute? Look at his little face. I figured I could find some decorative ribbon, you know, that's only, however, excuse me, I'm exhausted, y'all. Yeah, it just says you add needle thread and hot glue, so doesn't sound, well, needle thread, there might be some sewing involved. We'll see. Yeah, here's his buttons and his head and the pins. So yeah, I got those just because I thought they were super cute. And you know, once I put them together, it'll actually be like a little souvenir from my time. So I got some floss. That was one thing about Dixie Darling. I was very unimpressed with floss selection. I didn't see it. If they had any silk, I didn't see it. Normally I like to buy some silk from shop, like whatever shop I go to, especially like if it's a special occasion or whatever. So that was gonna be my plan, was to just buy some silk from each shop, but I didn't see any silk there. I Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, and Gentle Art. And it was a very small wall. So I skipped on floss there. But at Cross Stitch and Crafts, I bought this skein of silk from, it's Water Lilies by Karen. And I've admired this color for a little while because it kind of reminds me of Trans Pride colors, Trans Pride flag colors. You know, it gets a little peachy in there, or like a little beigey, but it's got the pink, it's got the blue, and kind of white, yellowy beige. And then I also bought, I don't have any of the Threadworks silk, so I bought this skein of Threadworks Vineyard Silk, 20 yards, and it's kind of like a peachy, it's coming off very peachy, like, or more orangey, but it's a little bit more like coral, salmony type peachy pink. It's coming off extremely orange in the flash. And then I also bought, they had the DMC Flosh thread, color 818. And this is like, I've heard Imogen and Michelle Bendy talk about it. So it's like single stranded. You don't strand this. As you can see, it's like already one strand, but it equals, it's a heavier weight than one strand of the DMC. So it kind of equals, I guess, 1.5 like of a DMC strand. So, and Imogen was explaining in one of their floss tubes that like they don't like sulky, even though it's a heavier weight, because the sulky is like very, I guess, rounded, whereas with DMC, when you lay it down, you know, it lays flat. So they like that flat effect. And so I was just like, there was only 3 colors. This was the color I liked the best out of what was sitting there. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll stitch up something in words just to try it. I actually kind of want to, like, content warning, I'm going to get political here for a second. That thing that Nancy Pelosi said where she wanted to punch Donald Trump in the face and she would go to jail and be happy. I kind of want to stitch that. So we shall see. But then, so they had a lot of Mill Hill kits, and I saw this stitched up at Pinwist and had to have it. Flamingos, duh. And they had it. This was the first time I've seen it in person for sale since I saw it stitched up. Had to have it. So I grabbed it. And they had a model of one of the Mill Hill churches. Oh my gosh, I wanted that one, but they didn't have it. This little cutie had been in my 1, 2, 3 stitch cart. but I hadn't made the order. So Little House Needlework gingerbread cookie, and it's so cute. Here I mostly just bought stuff that I thought was cute. This is with thy needle and thread. When Santa's away, the mice will play. And oh my gosh, it's just too cute. They're using Santa's boot to help decorate, to get up high enough to decorate. It's so cute. I just love this one. I don't know that I would do the fuzzy stuff. I don't even know what that is. Oh, it says scrap of 100% natural cotton batting to do the boot trim. Interesting. Hello camera, focus. And then the last thing I got from there is this hands-on design, wild salt air. It says, I dream of the sea and the wild salt air. I just really liked it. It was cute. It was like the first thing that I grabbed. And it looks like maybe it has a couple other patterns in it, perhaps. So yeah, that is my haul from both of the cross-stitch shops that I went to in Tennessee. And now I'm going to throw in all the footage I took, which was primarily just of the models. I didn't really like walk around the shop with the camera like pointed at. It's not like a walking tour. It's just like I just took video mostly of models and then I'll just throw them all together. And while that's playing, I'll just do a voiceover of kind of what I did on vacation and everything. So that's it for this clip. See you in the next one. Bye. Okay, y'all, so this first bit of footage is from Dixie Darlin in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And I was just going to talk about my vacation in general. So basically the reason I went is my best friend lives in Tennessee. She used to live in South Carolina, but now she lives in Tennessee, and I was just feeling like I really needed to see her. I feel like the next year is kind of really uncertain, and so I just kind of felt like I needed to get a visit in before, you know, the new year happens and we have to turn to more like serious life stuff. But anyway, and I've never visited her in Tennessee before. And so now I am, you know, now that I'm a cross stitcher, I was like, okay, I want to visit, any cross stitch shop that I can. But, I also have a friend who lives at the very southern tip of Indiana, and she's only about a 6-hour drive away from where my friend lives. And I was like, hey, you know, I know 6 hours is a lot, but I mean, it's closer than the West Coast. So she actually drove down and spent about a day and a half with us. So that was really cool too. So that I got to meet her finally. We met when we were both diamond painters in the very, very beginning of 2020. We were working on the same diamond painting. And so we were like keeping each other updated on our progress, and then it just turned into a beautiful friendship. And anyway, so I flew out on the first day that I was there. We went to Gatlinburg, which is about an hour away from where my friend lives. And I think the entire town of Gatlinburg is owned by Ripley's, believe it or not. But we took her goddaughter, who is 3, to the aquarium in Gatlinburg, and that was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoy zoos and aquariums and stuff, and it's even more fun with kids. So that was fun. And we did some of the shops there, and then So that was day one. We tried to take it easy because, oh my Lanta, my day on Saturday traveling to get there was obscenely long and I was exhausted. And that is the night that Heather came in, my friend from Indiana. And so we all had dinner together, and then I stayed with her that night. She rented this little cabin type place in Pigeon Forge, and I stayed with her that night. And then the next morning, she came all that way. We were gonna meet like partway in Nashville, but she came all that way because she really wanted to go to the cross-stitch shop, this shop that we're still seeing footage from right now. And so that morning hit, and first we went to, there's a place called the Christmas Place in Pigeon Forge. Pigeon Forge is huge on Christmas because it's like the home place of Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton loves Christmas. So there's like tons and tons of Christmas shops. And I asked my friend, I was like, what is the best one? And she told me it would be the Christmas Place. So first we went there and we spent like 2 hours in there. I don't know what just happened there with the camera angle. Sorry. We spent like 2 hours in there. And then that's when we went to Dixie Darlin after the Christmas shop. And then after that, her and I left the cross-stitch shop and we went to this place called The Island, which is just sort of like a big shopping tourist trap of there's shops and places to eat, and there's like some amusement park type stuff. Like there's a soaring thing, there's a like adventure, climb up, walk across wooden planks, blah blah blah. There's like some kiddie rides, and then there's a big Ferris wheel. And that's where we met back up with my friend Liv and her friend who actually works at the island. So we got to ride on the Ferris wheel thing for free. So that was cool. And we got the VIP car. So that was really cool and sweet that his employees all love him enough to, and everybody was so sweet. They were like, oh, hi, and hugging him. And like, so it's very clear that like everybody that he works with really loves him and likes him and admires him. So that was so much fun. And then Heather had to go and get started on her 6-hour trip home. So that was Monday. Tuesday, my friend Liv and I drove to Nashville because I feel like road trips are like mandatory for us. Every trip, it's we cook food to eat and we go on road trips and we watch movies. So we went on a trip to Nashville. We went to the Parthenon, and then we went to a California Pizza Kitchen because that's like her favorite restaurant and there are none near her. So we went there, and then we went to a shopping mall because at this point I was like, I need another suitcase because I have shopped too much and there was still more shopping to come. So I wanted to get a new suitcase, and that was fun because I got to go to, there's no Vera Bradley. There's no Vera Bradley shops near me. I guess it's all sort of like on the eastern half of the country. And anyway, so I found a Vera Bradley outlet, and I got a suitcase and a purse and a blanket, and I got out of there for, I thought, a pretty reasonable, oh, the glare was so bad. Anyway, I got out of there for what I thought was pretty reasonable, especially because we'd gone into Samsonite, and Samsonite wanted like $400 for small carry-on size suitcases. I was like, no ma'am, that's not happening. So, and we went to White Castle for dinner. I've never been to a White Castle because I don't have any here. And oh my gosh. So I'm a picky eater. I eat burgers plain and dry. And I know White Castle cooks burgers in onions. But I was like, the cashier knew what I was talking about. I was like, hey, just plain and dry. No. And she's like, no onions? I was like, no onions. And she even asked my friend. She was like, think my camera was sideways for this. I think, yeah. Okay, yeah, we're still in Dixie, darling. She even asked my friend, like, oh, you want yours normal, right? Like with the onions. And she was like, yeah. So she knew what I was talking about. We wait like 15 minutes for food, and then it comes and there was onions. And my friend who works in the restaurant industry, she was like, she took charge and she took it up there and she's like, no, she doesn't want it. She doesn't want the onions. And they're like, what, really? Well, we cook them in it. And she's like, yeah, I know, but you could just like cook them to the side, you know, with no onions. Like, just don't put the onions on them. So we wait another like 10 minutes for food. The lady, the cashier, she was hot. She was like, I'm so sorry. I told them. Brings out the burgers. This time they had pickles on them. Oh my gosh. It was just crazy stuff always happens with my friend. I always say, like, only you. Like, only with you. Anyway, so, but that was hilarious. That was not a fast food experience because that took like an hour to get our food and eat it. So drove back. That was Tuesday. Wednesday, we went to, oh look, and I think, no, I was going to say that would have been too good a timing. So Wednesday, we went to the cross-stitch shop in Johnson City, which will be coming up soon. I think this is one of the last clips that I took in Dixie Darling. The Mill Hill walls. I love seeing the Mill Hill kits stitched up. I still haven't done one yet, but I love it. Oh no, they had all these cute pillow finishes. Some of these were kits, and you just like stitched it right onto the fabric. All that fabric was like already sewn onto the pillow fabric. It was pretty much a completed kit. I think you just like did some kind of corset thing just to sew up the pillow. I'm not sure. But, oh, look, that's my Sleepy Hollow model. That's one of my whips, is Glendon Place's Sleepy Hollow. I'm trying to, like, drag this out till we get to Dixie Darling. My footage in the shop was not as stellar because I was with my friend, so we were talking, so sometimes I wasn't like paying super close attention to how I was filming, what I was filming. Yeah, they had just such beautiful models on the wall. Really, really beautiful. These quilt blocks were so gorgeous. Okay, now we're in Cross Stitch and Crafts in Pigeon Forge, or in Johnson City, Tennessee. So we drove out there. It was about an hour away from where she lives, and we needed food, and we stopped at there was a pizza place across the street from the cross stitch shop. So I was like, perfect, we can just find one parking spot, because she wasn't gonna come in with me. She was gonna like nap in the car while I shopped. So I was like, we can find one parking spot, go eat, and then I'll go shop and you go nap. And oh my gosh, they had one of my favorite things in the world is ricotta calzones. And they had ricotta calzones, and it was so freaking good. And she had the spaghetti, which is daring for her because she's like famous for her spaghetti, and she cooks the sauce a very specific way. And it was actually good. Absolutely. Definitely going back. So this shop was so cute, and everybody was so nice. Like, I would have been in and out of there pretty quickly. And I was like, oh, let me just take another lap around, make sure that I saw everything. And then I got sucked into like 80 different conversations. And I ended up being in the shop for 2 hours. It was fantastic. But so let's see, what did we do after that? Actually, we didn't do anything after that. We went back to her place. We had one of the home cooked meals from her. And then Thursday was the day I had to go back to the airport. So, here are the Mill Hill kits, and I'm pretty sure that at the end of this one, you'll see the church one that I wanted. Let's see. not that one. That one at the end there. I wanted that so bad. I scoured the wall looking for that, didn't see it. They had some cool little finishing items, and some of these were kits. Like, they had a bunch of kits. There's another clip with them, because it was on the other side of the store. But they had a lot of shepherd's bush kits. Here was, like, their fabric area, part of their fabric area. I don't know that I filmed the other side, because there was people. Yeah, I didn't, because there was people. Too many people would have been in the shot. Here was the shepherd's bush area, maybe, I think. But, so, had to go to the airport that day. So, we got up, and we went to a Cracker Barrel for breakfast. I have a Cracker Barrel out here, but it's not the same. I don't know. It's just, I had never been to one until I went to visit her in the South. And something about that Southern atmosphere, it's just not the same to go here. I've been once, and it just was like, that felt pretty flat. So I don't bother. Plus, it's really far away from where I live, so I just don't bother. But yeah, so we went to Cracker Barrel for breakfast, and then we drove to the airport, which was about 45 minutes from her house. I nearly lost my identification in the airport before going through security. I decided to be cute and smart and put it in an outside pocket of my purse so that I could get to it easily when I got to the TSA agent. And that way my purse could be zipped so that I could just throw it into the bin and not have to worry about things falling out. Except for the fact that I pulled my phone out to take a picture of something, and apparently my ID dropped. So I get up to the agent, and I'm reaching in to find my ID. Can't find it. And he was like, so I step aside and I'm scouring every pocket, and I'm like, maybe I didn't actually move it. Maybe I only thought I moved it. No. Thankfully, that is the tiniest airport I have ever been in. You know how most airports have terminals, like A terminal, B terminal, C terminal, D, E. Like, I think Portland has A, B, C, D, E, F. No terminals. No terminals at the Knoxville airport, just gate numbers, and they have 12 gates. That's it. Like, if you're standing at one end, the only reason you can't see the other end of the airport is because the building is kind of boomerang shaped. So there's a slight curve in the middle, so you can't actually see the very end of the airport, but it was so tiny. They had one restaurant, two convenience store type places. One was on the before security, one was on the other side of security, and like a Cinnabon and a sub shop. That was it. And they, but so thankfully, because it was so small, I knew exactly where I dropped it, because it was where I took the picture. And where I took the picture was like, I don't know, 30 feet away from security. So I just zipped back, and there it was on the floor. I was actually more fearful that somebody would have seen it and grabbed it and tried to turn it into a lost and found, because then, I mean, who knows? Like, who knows which counter they took it to? And I knew it hadn't been very long, so there must be a centralized system for lost and found, but it wouldn't have been enough time yet to have gotten it to the lost and found system. So, but yeah, that was it. That was my vacation. I flew the same flight path both ways. So I was in Denver for both of my layovers. Denver was a nice airport, huge airport. 2 very, very long, exhausting days of travel, and I really haven't stitched much of anything since I've been home, because I've been so tired and like trying to get back on sleep schedule and sleep schedule routine. But yeah, so that is it. I'm out of footage, as you can see. So I will let you go. I'm going to get this posted to the YouTubes. Thank you for being here, returning. If you're new here, welcome. And thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. See y'all in the next one. Bye.